Okay, so hey up everyone, how's it going? You may see as I'm a bit different now. That's because I've got a new camera. More specifically, it is the Sony a6000. So if the video quality isn't the best right now, it's probably because I'm still getting used to the camera. But hopefully with time to come and improving my workflow and stuff like that, the videos will look way better than what they used to on my iPhone. As you see, I'm no longer actually recording on my iPhone, so I'm happy. I'm happy that I've finally got a camera. Camera upgrade out of the way. This is a GTX 760, which I picked up in the same bundle as the R9 390. You can see that in a video. It's either the left or right. I don't know what side YouTube puts it on. But I benchmarked that not too long ago, and I flipped it in a PC as well. More specifically, this GTX 760 model is the WindForce 3X, I believe. And it's a pretty high-end one for a GTX 760, featuring 3 fans and a pretty decent cooler, so yeah, it's not too bad, this one. Launching back in 2013 for the price of $249 US, the GTX 760 was a performance segment card targeted at gamers trying to play games at 1080p. It's also built on the 28nm process on the Kepler architecture, featuring 1152 CUDA cores and 2GB of GDDR5 on a 256-bit bus. One big problem with all of the 700 series cards from Nvidia is their lackluster support for DX12. They only support it at a feature level, so some games, most specifically Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is what I found out, won't even run on a 700 series card. I've tried it with the 780 and the 770 and on the 760. And it doesn't work. The specific card in my hands today is the WindForce 3X from Gigabyte. And to be honest, it keeps the 760 pretty cool under load and also quiet. When I benchmark graphics cards, I leave my PC case open and it didn't get much louder than my Strix 1080 Ti, so pretty good. It also has, I believe, 2 copper heat pipes in there, which is not the most in a graphics card, but it's not really that high of a power graphics card, so it keeps it nice and cool. And from the factory, it comes with a 1085 MHz core clock, along with 1502 MHz on the memory as well. Additionally, Gigabyte recommend a 450 watt power supply to juice this up, which is not as much as what I thought it would have been. I thought it would have been about a 550, a 500 maybe, but yeah, it doesn't really use that much power either. All benchmarking today is done on my personal gaming PC with a Ryzen 9 3950X, 32GB of dual rank, dual channel, 3200 MHz Corsair Dominator memory, and an 850 watt power supply. Fresh thermal paste was applied to the graphics card before testing, and it was cleaned out to a point where temperatures weren't affected or anything like that. So let's see how the GTX 760 2GB performs in 2021. First game up today is Fortnite, and in my previous tests, all the cards actually fared quite well, and the GTX 760 is no exception to this. At 1080p with the competitive settings, the 760 pulled out 157 FPS on average, following that up with a 1% low of 108 FPS. It seems as if Epic Games have actually fixed the stuttering issue, because the 760 was actually pretty stable throughout testing. Pretty great performance here, especially if you're looking for a budget 144Hz gaming experience. Next game up is GTA 5. Performance here was pretty great, as we managed to get away with 1080p and high settings, although MSAA and all advanced settings were turned off. With these settings enabled, the 760 rendered 91 frames on average while achieving a 1% low of 73 FPS. I was actually surprised at how well the 760 performed, as it come out about 2 years before GTA launched, so yeah, not bad here. Warzone often isn't very kind to older hardware, and today's no exception to that. To get a playable experience, we had to drop the settings to 720p at the lowest settings possible to achieve 56 FPS on average and a 1% low of 44 FPS. This performance is quite poor, all things considered, as 56 FPS isn't the most competitive frame rate out there, but hey, at least you can run the game and run it at the bare minimum. But with the competitive nature of this game, this card probably won't cut it for you. Unlike Warzone, F1 2020 usually runs quite well even on a spud. The 760 fared quite well while playing F1 at 1080p and at the high settings. In the wet Australian Grand Prix benchmark, the 760 got 61 FPS on average and hardly any stutter with a 1% low of 51 FPS. For 1080p performance, this isn't too bad at all considering this card came out 7 years before this game launched. Rocket League is a newcomer to the benchmarking list today, and it's a great example of an easy to run esports title. And on the performance preset at 1080p, the 760 got 128 FPS on average with a 1% low of 48 FPS. I believe the poor 1% low performance was down to a weird bug where the frame rate would tank while boosting. However, I believe this is an isolated issue and it shouldn't happen in your case. Last game up today is Red Dead Redemption 2. It's a notoriously hard to run game, but it looks beautiful even on modest settings. To get a playable experience, I had to lower the resolution to 720p while using the Digital Foundry console settings. Furthermore, I had to lower the textures down to low because of the 2GB of video memory. So the GTX 760 managed to get 32 FPS on average with a 1% low of 25 FPS. This was taken in Saint Denis, so this is essentially the worst case scenario, and this rounds off all the benchmarks for today. At 8 years old now, the GTX 760 is really starting to show its age. Games like Red Dead Redemption 2 really struggled to run. I don't remember them struggling that much on the 770 or the 780. They ran decently, but just about. But even with games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, because of the DirectX 12 support at a feature level, this can't even run Valhalla. Like, you will just get like a little message that says your card not supported or something along those lines. So yeah, we have to respect the fact that it's 8 years old. And in older games like GTA 5 and even Fortnite, it ran perfectly fine. So if you want this card for an esports or an older AAA gaming experience to tide you over because you're waiting for a 3000 series card or something like that, it will do you just fine if you're not trying to play Cyberpunk or Assassin's Creed Valhalla, as I've said. And this begs the age-old question: is the GTX 760 actually worth it in 2021? And as it goes for around about £80 to £90 on the used market, I believe I'll put the actual number up above somewhere on the screen. I would say if you're waiting for Ampere to launch properly, because it was a paper launch, it didn't actually launch, yeah, I'd say it's worth it, as stock is going to take quite some time to normalise. So if you're just waiting for Ampere, I would say get this if you're willing to drop a few frames, drop it to 720p in newer games, and if you don't want to play Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I would say this graphics card will do you just fine until Ampere comes out. And when Ampere comes out and you get like a 3060 or a 3060 Ti, you can give this to your little brother or a cousin or a relative or a friend, anything like that, and I think they'll be happy gaming on this. So yeah, so if you like the video, like it, stay subscribed for future content, and I'll catch you in the next one.